feel like I need to start this video by saying that I absolutely adore this game and have completed it countless times, and I realise that some of the inconsistencies I'm going to point out are there because the game is aimed at kids, and kids need something to laugh at, usually at the cost of consistency. I'm not looking for hate, I'm just having a bit of fun. Having said that, the fact that I have to say that is a sin in and of itself.
My Blargian Snagglebeast devours your mutant swamp fly. Oh yeah, I bet you didn't see that one coming.
James Arnold Taylor is not being experimented on by his older twin sisters in this scene. Mactar just sounds like an existing word, but with a letter or two changed for some reason. Just like most of the other planets in this game.
But do you lose as gracefully as you win?
I'm adding a sin for every instance of James Arnold Taylor, the actor who voices Ratchet, providing voices for other minor characters, because it happens way too much whenever he's cast for something.
I would not know, Maximilian. I never lose.
Rich guy's name Maximilian cliché.
You missed!
Nope, he clearly hit that.
Shocking.
I already hate this show.
Bring the car around, Jeeves.
Chauffeur is named Jeeves cliché.
And mind the ejector seat this time.
Why does Ratchet groan? Why did the editor, or the director, or whoever leave in the moment where Ratchet audibly moans in frustration due to being cast as a mere sidekick despite the fact that by this point he's saved the world twice? Who even hired him for that matter? And why would Ratchet willingly be a part of this production if he hates it? Just get out of there, dude.
Officials believe that an evil robotic supervillain known as Dr. Nefarious.
Villain is named after an evil word cliché. Dalek Ratchet's singular character trait is to die horribly on camera multiple times.
Oh no, not the gravimetric warp drive.
That warp drive should not work. He literally just threw it in. It'll probably bounce around in there for a bit and fall out, kinda like that guy who tried to ride home with a Happy Meal on his motorbike. So I need to point this out before we continue, or my OCD will kick in a hyperdrive. The images of the ship flying through space on the loading screens don't match up with the audio at all. This only happens with the PS3 version.
Greetings, Client 91802, and welcome back to the Solana Galaxy.
Thanks, Help Desk Lady, but shouldn't you have told me that when I actually arrived in the galaxy and not landed on some backwater planet within the galaxy? Why are the camera controls inverted by default? These green guys just sort of shoot along the ground instead of aiming directly at you. Don't know what vendetta you have against the ground, Mr. Tyrannoid, but it must be serious for you to consider it your primary threat over the furry armored dude with the shotgun. Also, why doesn't Ratchet have his arsenal? Heh. From the previous game. You can't tell me that he just forgot it in a hurry, can you? Is he not allowed to have Megacorp weapons in the Solana Galaxy due to Gadgetron being the weapons vendor? This is some deep shit. Don't think I didn't see that, Mr. Helicopter.
We have a transmission from the president!
How are things on the front lines, soldier?
Seriously, the fucking president? I have no idea if he's supposed to be a parody of Bill Clinton or George Bush due to the fact that I'm Australian. I'm guessing Clinton, but whatever. Still waiting for someone to parody Kevin Rudd or Tony Abbott in a video game. They could be an egg and an onion fighting crime or something.
It's one of nature's mysteries!
One of nature's mysteries is how they expect us to think that isn't James Arnold Taylor.
He was buck naked, screaming and holding a banana. Or maybe it weren't a banana. It could be.
One of nature's mysteries!
Whoever it was, he was walking around with his tallywhacker in his hand. Great.
We need you to find this man. The fate of the galaxy may depend on it.
Why do we need this guy? Why not just ask Ratchet, the guy who saved the world twice now? Or is Mr. President being ignorant because that's how some US presidents are? I mean, that's how they come off to us down under, at least. Of course, we can't talk. Fucking onion. Why are bolts the currency? Seems like you could just take any old thing apart and harvest the bolts from it to get rich. Unless these are special bolts, in which case, pfft. The Nitro launcher makes the same sound as the blaster from Ratchet and Clank 1 when it's equipped. That's some Charizard Rhyhorn shit right there.
We have company.
Where?
Behind you.
Where?
Behind you.
For fuck's sake, Ratchet, you can hear that Clank's speech is affected. There's clearly something on Clank. Also, how is Clank's speech affected by Scrunch's hand being in Clank's mouth? Even though he has a mouth that moves, it doesn't move in a way that would be able to make O or U or P sounds, and yet he can do this perfectly fine. So why is having something in his mouth affecting his speech like that? You know, I see why CinemaSins does this now. This is kind of fun. Could it be any more obvious that it's Quark? Also, that means Quark was sighted with his tallywhacker in his hand. That is wrong on too many levels. Characters unrealistically fitting into a cramped vehicle cliché. Another thing with the PS3 port is that the images shown on monitors are usually squished in some way. Seeing things like this makes me think I really do have OCD.
Even a Gadgetron VG9000 game system.
Hey, here's an amazing starship! We've got a cartridge-based video game system too! How amazing! Apparently games are simple enough in the future, assuming this is the future and not some alternate dimension, which it probably is but I don't care, to only need 2 face buttons. Considering the Quark vid comics use 3 face buttons for jumping, punching, and shooting, this controller shouldn't be compatible.
Will you marry me?
This cringe, it needs to be contained because it's just gonna kill us all at this rate.
He didn't even peel it!
Cannot hold out much longer here.
Mr. President! Dad!
Of course, the president is Sasha's father. Could this chick be any more of a Mary Sue right now?
Too long have we robots suffered under the bigotry, the stupidity, the squishiness and foul stench of organic life forms.
I'm gonna have to take a sin off for Dr. Nefarious, even though his name is stupid. And 5 sins off for Lawrence. My deaf friend really appreciates you telling him that the squishies are all gonna be exterminated. Though, calling your Butler character Lawrence is only one step better than calling him Sebastian. Now watch me whip! Now watch me nay-nay! Sorry. These turrets are activated by turning a bolt crank using your Omni Wrench, a tool that only ever seems to be used by a singular Lombax in the entire universe. Whoever placed these turrets was sure depending on Ratchet being here, huh?
My daughter tells me you're a man who's good with his hands, Ratchet.
Sir, I swear I never—
This joke makes me realize how freakishly huge Ratchet's hands are for his size. Guiding a spider drone to a symbol to proceed is a mechanic that is never used again.
How can you use the city's defense network to play a video game?
Unless I'm mistaken, that ain't no video game. Pressing R1 and X while running is pretty much the roll to get everywhere of this game.
The Solana Galaxy was terrorized by a notorious pirate known as Captain Blackstar.
Huh, didn't think Blackstar would be a space pirate when he grew up. So in the future, instead of seeing a natural evolution of story-based games like The Walking Dead and Life is Strange, we get some comic images and a mediocre side-scrolling platformer. On giant cartridges. Oh, hang on. Up, up, down, down, left, right, circle, square, square. He's in a tutu. I was going to take a sin off, but then I remembered we're looking at Captain Quark in a tutu. Ooh, phantom platforms, ooh!
With great reluctance, Quark accepted a meager fee for his services and promptly donated the entire sum to the Quark for Tots Scholarship Fund, a charity providing makeovers and buxom bimbos for needy people named Quark.
I've got a big heart.
If heart's the name you give your penis, then sure. Also, considering he's been living in the wild for some time, it has to be pretty dirty too. Eat your banana skins, you fucking ape! Legitimately curious as to how or why Quark ended up on Florana in the first place. The only reason I can think of is because they wanted a monkey in the game and couldn't figure out another way to do it naturally. What the fuck is this device even for? Grand Theft Auto 5 cops some flack after its torture scene, but here's Ratchet and Clank 3 about to fondle Quark's balls with a sharp-looking mechanical claw.
Well, who's that handsome devil?
I don't know, Quark. If I suddenly came to and saw myself with a bum beard like that, handsome is the last adjective I'd use. Probably wouldn't use it ever, because considering the fact I make gaming videos on YouTube, I'm not exactly what you'd call a looker. But that's the way we wash our hands.
Is it just me, or do you smell bananas?
This is just a bad joke in all honesty. The scene would have been better without it.
Let's meet tonight's victim. Oops, I mean, contestant.
James Arnold Taylor gets way too excited in seeing people die. Ironically, people would think the same of him, considering he's also the voice of Tidus and Johnny Test, 2 of the most annoying characters in media history.
He's an unemployed rocket mechanic who claims to have saved 2 galaxies, but most people know him as Secret Agent Clang's bumbling chauffeur. He hopes that disguising himself as a tyrannoid will make him more attractive to the ladies.
James Arnold Taylor is a dick to himself.
Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and Helga.
If Clank's anything to go by, robots have genders. Unless we're so far into the future that sentient lifeforms are now actually able to tell that certain people prefer not to go by male or female pronouns just by looking at them. Look, it's the obstacle course lady from Ratchet and Clank 1. Who cares? Also, Ratchet and Clank 1 characters have been dragged into this conflict for no adequately explored reason other than to make the Q-Force as bumbling as possible. Or nostalgia. Yeah, nostalgia, for all those extremely one-note underdeveloped characters who only ever appeared once in the first game. That's one big crayon. It's probably close to half the size of Ratchet.
Aye, sir.
UFO? This is the year 4587 or an alternate universe or something. Are UFOs still a thing? Oh, wait, we fought one in the second game.
When Captain Quark encountered the amoeboids for the first time, he immediately executed Emergency Response Plan number 2. Quark then proceeded to stall for time.
These poop jokes are shit. Well, not really, I like the stall one. I believe in Quark holding his breath in space. I really do. But I don't believe in Quark holding his breath in space for 6 days as he clings to the side of a spaceship with nothing but his bare hands.
You're breaking up.
You know, I can see you
weasel boy.
Doesn't mean you get off that easily. A fake static cliche is still a fake static cliche.
My code name is Shadow Dude, bro. Black Ops are my speciality.
His gamer tag is ShadowDude420, and he will 1v1 you in Black Ops scrub, he swears on his mum. Just notice this, but Ratchet's helmet isn't sitting on his head, it's hovering over it. From certain angles you can see through the gap between the helmet and his head. One of the best platformers of the 2000s is marred by a really crappy port that could have been easily patched. Ratchet and Clank games actually managed to make underwater sections enjoyable, even if there is only one in Ratchet and Clank 3. R1 to propel forward, X and square to rise and dive, and left stick to turn. It's genius! The fact that Slim Cognito is selling Megacorp weapons makes my theory about a Megacorp weapon ban slightly more relevant, or he just smuggled them illegally. Either way, Ratchet is purchasing illegally obtained weapons and being a really bad influence on the thousands of children that will play this. How did the suitcase get there? If you're infiltrating the place, how did the Begammed get in here before we did? Fart burp revolution.
Oh, look at this. The complete Secret Agent Clank Holovid collection.
There can't be that many Secret Agent Clank Holovids, surely. It's been a year since we last saw Clank, so at most there should be only one season of the show, and only one, heck probably not even one Holovid. Not dozens of them.
Whoa, deja vu.
We get it, Ratchet and Clank 1 was a thing.
Oh, it's you two again. Right on schedule.
Right on schedule? Are you a Time Lord or something? Ratchet grips the amoeboid poop. Ratchet regrets what he just did. You know what amoeboids remind me of? Wazowski, you didn't hand in your paperwork.
Oh, Janice, you'll always be the love of my life.
It's on my to-do list, right after folding your undergarments.
Why does he need undergarments? Does he still cling to his former humanity?
We'll be monitoring the situation closely from here. Actually, we'll be down at the lunch buffet on deck 5. It's Meatloaf Day!
I thought meatloaf was, like, a really hated thing. It should have been something more appealing, like Taco Day or Steam Summer Sale Day. I hope Scrunch tells me what that chair tastes like. So the green boxes give me a Bolton XP multiplier. This would have been an excellent place to have it, except suddenly the Galactic Rangers actually show some competence in combat ability, meaning by the time you've gone around and grabbed all the crates for double money, there aren't any enemies left to kill for double XP. This section always pisses me off for that reason alone. How did Quark get there so quickly? It's friggin' Meatloaf Day.
Now you've defeated the Tyrannoids in a spectacular battle on their own planet.
I couldn't have done it without these massive guns!
Took me 26 Annihilator rounds. I doubt you could wrangle it with your Shrek fingers.
So, this is the mighty Q-Force I've heard so much about.
You would think that, in the distant future, the audio quality on these hologram transmissions would be a hell of a lot better.
Alright, Lawrence, you can turn it off now.
Oh, may I, sir? What a treat.
I feel sorry for you, Lawrence. Here, have a sin-off. Did you know the voice actor for Lawrence, Michael Bell, also played incredibly annoying Mama's boy Ced in Lost Odyssey? Well, we're not sending Lost Odyssey here, so someone needs to take one for the team.
All organic life forms report to Sector 8 for immediate execution.
This game is essentially a Borderlands alternate universe. Death is a common but comical occurrence, and some of the weapons are so over the top they're practically useless.
Are you interested in a career in the exciting fields of building security, execution, or VCR repair? Visit the job fair on level 2.
This is funny, but it begs the question, why is the future offering VCR repair when the game that tells the story set in a future that offers VCR repair is on a DVD disc? This helicopter dropship thing shows up completely unannounced and tries to kill you. It's never revealed who is piloting it or why it's attacking you. Also, one of the best songs in the game is wasted on a 40-second boss fight that has no emotional impact or any effect on the plot.
Looks like somebody's a big fan of Courtney Gears.
Courtney Gears' name is an obvious parody of Britney Spears. Certainly better than Wiley Silas or Keisha.
Well, she's not the hottest pop star in the galaxy because of her singing.
Whore.
It appears this computer was recently used to edit one of her music videos.
Why edit it here on a remote little island pillar thing? This is such a strangely situated building to be editing music videos in.
Yeah, what's up, people? It's Courtney Gears.
Artist shouts his or her name at the beginning of a song cliche. I really hate that cliche, by the way.
Jason Derulo. Stand organics, they're soft and squishy. It's time for you and me to rise up and strike back when we exterminate all organic life.
This is some Ivan Etniage bullshit, and it's not even reversed. At what point would the general public start to think that there's something a bit iffy about this song and its almost Nazi undertones? John Jafari could finally release his rap single, All the Jews and Whites and Blacks and Asians and Latinos should all die, and no one would bat an eyelid.
You know what?
Whoa, settle down, Ratchet. We gotta stick to that PG rating.
How do you work this camera, whatchamacallit?
Skid, for fuck's sake, the camera's already on. How could you not know how it works?
Sasha and Quark are meeting with the president, man. They left me in charge of the ship.
Well, is Al there?
He's out to lunch.
Al picked a horrible time to go out to lunch.
Sounds like you guys could use some backup. I'll grab my gear and meet you there.
You can't leave, you're in charge. The ship's probably now vulnerable to a hostile takeover.
You're even more gorgeous in person than you are on the Holo, Agent Clank.
He's the most geometrically average humanoid being I've ever seen. Ratchet is David Hasselhoff compared to Clank's Danny DeVito.
I've got a few secrets of my own that might need your special investigation.
She really is a whore.
I'd do anything to play a part in one of your Holo films.
That could be arranged, Miss Gears, if you are willing to provide information on the whereabouts of Dr. Nefarious.
Are you seriously just going to ask someone who's in league with Nefarious of his whereabouts? I know a lot of films and games that would have ended 66% earlier if the protagonist had done the same thing. This scene does not contain a lap dance. I've always wanted to say that, though I wish the context were better.
Never mess with a trigger-happy line.
Even the game is sick of hearing James Arnold Taylor's voice.
Jeeves, activate the cloaking device.
Crud.
Take up basket weaving, you're fired!
Come on, man, that was funnier than anything you've had Clank say in the show so far. Also, you can't just get rid of your characters like that. Keep this up and it'll practically be a future version of Misfits, except without the community service, superpowers, and use of the C-word.
You did read the script I sent you. First, you narrowly survive a series of death-defying stunts, yada yada.
Wait, you're not planning on telling him the dialogue? Nah, who am I kidding? If at the end of the episode Clank says, all in a day's work, then you haven't written dialogue.
All in a day's work.
Also, if Clank doesn't know the script, then what were they filming over here? Seems like both Ratchet and Clank had a firm knowledge of the script, and yet suddenly Clank seems to know nothing about it.
Try to make it look real, alright?
Yeah, try to make a tiny robot fighting tiny ninja robots look real! Chase scene apparently denotes slowly jumping across hover cars, raising and lowering as if they were makeshift platforms. Also, a chase generally means that there is someone to give chase to. Make a game about that, Peter. Puzzles. Clank gets one hit by this laser, yet the one-eyed monkey is completely immune.
Cut! Printed! That's a wrap, people!
She didn't even appear on camera!
Perhaps now you will tell me what Dr. Nefarious is planning.
I have a better idea. Why don't you ask him yourself?
Remember how you shouldn't have just straight up asked Courtney Gears about where Nefarious is? I bet you're regretting that, huh?
Secret Agent Clank is merely a fictional character I play on the horror video.
Squishy lot!
Oh, Len, I can't. It's not right. You're my cousin's uncle's son.
What sort of film studio has a pitfall?
I thought something happened to you.
I was having my sprockets lubed.
Robot likes lube cliché. Character randomly portrays evil trait to show that they're an evil clone or replacement cliché.
If I had the right tools, I could hack into that generator and shut the field down.
Ah, you should have brought your giant screwdriver then.
Sarge, Blackwater City is under attack!
We get it! Ratchet and Clank 1 was a thing! We get it! Cool remix though. The game has a first-person mode, and considering Ratchet does a flip when he double jumps, he should not still be looking forward the whole time.
Like, destroy all squishies, dude.
Fantastic, he retained his totally annoying surfer dude lingo. Someone's been playing a little too much electronic Superjoy.
Melissa, she's my best dancer.
How can you tell your dancers apart? Not only do you throw dozens of them at Ratchet in this fight, but they literally all look the same. Is this some sort of weird jab at individuality and uniqueness?
Due to increased security, thermonuclear warheads and nail clippers are no longer permitted as carry-on baggage.
Nail clippers? Can we find out what happened with the nail clippers? That sounds interesting.
It was mating season. How could I have known she was your sister?
Ratchet and Clank 3 encourages bestiality.
Shotgun.
Is shotgun still a well-known concept in the future? It doesn't even seem to work in modern times anymore. I can't even attempt to call shotgun because my friend Dilbert always grabs the front seat. He insists it's because he's older. Yeah, by 6 months, you fucking asshole. Sorry. Shotgun is a stupid concept.
What are you doing?
Move over, I'll drive.
No thanks. I'd rather make it there in one piece.
Also, they're arguing over who gets to fly and stuff. The ship's already flying. Rather flawlessly, might I add. Just notice the hood scoop on Ratchet's helmet. Why is it even there? Is it for aerodynamics? I suppose Ratchet really needs help sticking to the road around those tight hairpin corners.
Message received.
Character randomly portrays evil trait to show, yeah, you get the picture. This is literally just a repeat of the Nebula G34 level in the original game. Sneak on board a cruiser, then make a break for it before it explodes. We get it, you have a boner for the first game.
You've put on a bit of weight since last we met.
Yeah? Well, Courtney Gears didn't seem to mind.
That's what makes it so good, Janice. Feel it. My heart is pounding like an anvil.
This is the best part of my day.
I think I spotted something important. I can't leave without it.
So Quark does actually find something that would help the Q-Force in defeating Nefarious. However, he chooses to take an escape pod and flee the ship, leaving everyone to believe that he did indeed go down with the ship. As for that important something, Ratchet later finds that at the escape pod. Was Quark banking on Ratchet and Clank to come searching for him? Because that's a pretty big risk when the fate of the galaxy is at stake.
Did you detect any other craft leaving the Star Cruiser? An escape pod? Another shuttle, maybe?
This is assuming they can detect any escape pods leaving the Star Cruiser. And if they can, why the heck did they not pick up the escape pod leaving the Star Cruiser?
What a load of bullshit.
Potential curse word is cut off to adhere to the PG rating cliche. Wouldn't someone be suspicious of Clank by this stage? He's shown multiple instances of not being himself, such as when he chooses to abandon Quark at the Leviathan, or when he almost straight up says bullshit. But of course, even though 7-year-olds can see it from a mile away, even the most intelligent characters are blissfully ignorant.
This came in the mail for Quark. It's Chapter 4 of the Quarkvid comic series.
Quark ordered his own video game for himself. By the looks of things, Quark was responsible for turning Nefarious' head into a bread roll.
Say, how about a wedgie for old time's sake? I think it's safe to say we've seen the last of Dr. Nefarious.
When someone says they've seen the last of someone, that always means that they'll be back, 100% guaranteed or full money refund.
Oh, Lance, it's time you knew the truth. The baby isn't yours.
What? Who is the father?
That's Lance and Janice? Wow. Insomniac Studios, tackling interracial relationships one game at a time. Or maybe that's interspecies relationships. Okay, it just got weird again.
Just a word of advice, Nefarious. Quit while you're ahead.
Let's see. Up, up, down, down, left, right, circle, square, square. He's in a tutu!
That's pretty clever. I wonder how many kids missed this when they played it. Although that's the crappy controller configuration explained, so sorry, but that's a sin. So Nefarious is going to target Metropolis first, for revenge or something. Fair enough. But what if a small weasel, his robot friend, and some computer nerd figure out your plans by playing a video game? Shouldn't you at least change up your plan a little to make yourself harder to foil? We get it! Ratchet and Clank 1 was a thing!
You sure everything's okay, Clank?
Maybe Al should take a look at your circuitry.
Now his helmet has disappeared.
I call him Clunk. Maybe they'll change your show to Secret Agent Clunk.
They wouldn't know that his name was Clunk, they'd just keep calling him Clank. Also, Clunk did little to actually interfere with the Q-Force. He didn't cause Quark's death since he chose to escape via escape pod. All he's done is receive a message and cooperate with Ratchet to leap across sizable gaps. Okay, he's been used to spy on Ratchet, but Nefarious hasn't used that to his advantage very well.
Did you hear that, Lawrence?
You put the wit in twit, sir.
Lawrence has officially replaced Laura Bailey as my new waifu.
Behold the final chapter of this galaxy's destiny. The Age of Robots!
This whole level is amazing simply because Nefarious is the biggest, hammiest ham ever. Remote has one button cliche.
You are my robot lover. Think about backwards, go zap, zap, zap.
This is the quietest Nefarious has been in this game.
Oh dear, that was your audition for Galactic Idol, wasn't it?
American Idol is cancelled. If it returned in the future to inspire Galactic Idol, this is a future I want no part of. By the way, the Bi-Obliterator, it's literally just a smaller Death Star.
It's a shame you won't live long enough to see the rest of your kind exterminated.
It's not extermination, it's just Robotic persuasion.
I can't believe it. That thing just turned the whole city into robots!
Then why is Ratchet still a squishy?
The devices have since disappeared and their current location is unknown.
Don't know where the Hellfires came from. Metropolis looked peachy when we left.
That's great news for my re-election campaign because, as you know, I'm half robot myself.
You could clearly see the left side of his face before he revealed he was half robot, and there was no signs of him being a robot.
If we don't find those bio-obliterators soon, we're all gonna be robots. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
That's racist.
We must have just missed them. This pocket crotchetizer is still warm.
The heck does a crotchetizer even do?
I need a cab to come get me right away.
Whoa, this must be my lucky day.
Why was this conversation recorded? For plot purposes? Oh, carry on. This game is better breast physics than Dead or Alive Extreme.
We wondered if maybe you wanted to come hang out with us on Planet Iridia.
Planet Iridia? Wait, that sounds familiar. Oh yeah, that was that planet in the first game. We get it! Ratchet and Clank 1 was a thing! This turret is sitting behind a wall. That ain't gonna stop shit. Skid can probably just walk through those bars.
The neural matrix of this autonomous simulacrum retains an imprint of the template's original psyche embedded at its core level.
Sure, let's just pick a random bunch of technology jargon and string it together randomly and it'll sound like we're smart. It might make sense, but I wouldn't know. I accidentally stumbled upon the password screen mashing buttons like I do. Well, time to put in the most common password I know. Megan. What? Pirates versus ninjas? Are you serious? And you can even do quarter circles and shit to do moves? Why was this removed?
Bottoms up. Somebody say something.
That was an axe. Quark should be resting in pieces. And now this game is encouraging necrophilia. Or more Undertale crossovers. Quark cross Papyrus, anyone?
I think it's safe to say we've seen the last of Dr. Nefarious.
But the galaxy had not seen the last of Dr. Nefarious.
See? Told you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bouncer. A gun that shoots a giant bomb that explodes into a barrage of smaller bombs that bounce around the stage. Best gun ever. Hell, let's take another sin-off for motherfucking lawn ninjas. Even though there's no lawn anywhere to be seen, I'll let it slide. On the Iridia level we obtained the Warp Pad, a gadget we needed to progress through Quark's hideout, but it's only ever used twice, in quick succession, in Quark's HQ. Quark can clearly see us there, but he's not going to let us in unless we play through an annoying Clank level to deactivate the force field because he's a childish prat. You already had the banana gun, why are you getting another? Whoa, he wasn't wearing fake boobs when he was calling that taxi driver. He's taken off his suit, but he still wears the same green gloves and boots.
When I escaped from that star cruiser, cheating death by mere nanoseconds, I suddenly realized something very important. I could have died!
Tell me again, how did this man become an intergalactic superhero? Quark glances over to the suit, obviously alluding to the fact that he'll return in a very Deus Ex Machina moment. The lift thingy has been destroyed upon entering the Starship Phoenix, but after reaching the bridge, it's magically restored! Nefarious BFG sounds like the next plus-size rapper.
It's recharging at a base on planet Koros right now.
It's recharging, in midair, with nothing attached to it.
My biggest gun wouldn't even put a dent in that thing.
Then we will need a bigger gun.
Yeah, right. Where are we gonna get that kind of firepower?
Found it.
Well, that was easy.
What did you guys do to win all these free weapons?
Purchase all 3 of the original trilogy as a bundle. Duh. I know I'm not using this trope correctly, but they never say up your arsenal, so roll credits.
Al just finished decoding the data disk. Nefarious secretly constructed a second bio-obliterator.
First Death Star's been destroyed, let's go destroy the second one. For those Ratchet and Clank fanatics wondering, yes, I've been playing the entire game up until this point with just the standard armor for a bit more challenge. However, considering the bigger Tyrannoids can one-shot me here, I've had to give up on that idea. Your game's too hard, Insomniac. The rockets glitch out and fire off into the distance instead. I've done several playthroughs of this version and it happens every time.
You'll regret!
Sorry, Nefarious. Your flight's been cancelled.
Lawrence! Lawrence? Lawrence!
Just attack already. All the time Nefarious has been talking to you, you could have smashed him to bits.
How can I be of assistance?
Annihilate him!
Just kidding. You've reached my holographic voicemail. Leave your name and a brief message.
Lawrence provides inspiration for Archer's voicemail pranks. What is this? Gurren Lagann, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Star Driver, Mobile Suit Gundam Code Geass?
Believe it! Toast ahead!
Quark Ex Machina. Except he does literally nothing to help.
Reactor detonation in 60 seconds. Time's up.
What? That wasn't even close to 60 seconds!
computer voice is a dick to Nefarious.
We're live from the star-studded premiere of the latest Hollow film in the Secret Agent Clank series.
Is Darla the only reporter in this galaxy? Ah yes, the all-in scene. Glad to see Billy recovered well from having his face mauled off by a protopet.
And now, I am going to blow you into a million pieces! Get this thing off me!
Maximilian dies because he took way too long monologuing.
Well, he got that monkey off his back.
There is literally no romantic tension between these two, except for the random kiss Ratchet got after Quark died. Don't asteroids spin, or whatever? I don't know, I just feel like they shouldn't be sitting on that floating rock without floating out into space.
Now what?
I don't suppose you can play drums.
Considering you don't currently have access to a set of drums, that would be a little difficult. Unless you could teleport them in which case why not teleport yourself out of there? Also, isn't there no sound in space? Your meaty rendition of Primus's Jerry was a race car driver is going to fall on deaf ears. Challenge mode solves the problem of not going in with an already existing arsenal of weapons. And one last sim, because I was never given an opportunity to say that someone went to the Prometheus school of running away from things. Also, I enjoyed Prometheus. Shoot me.
You put the wit in twit, sir.
Oh my god!